Thank you for doing it here on Morning at NTV. This is Stephen Imbido on Fefe Switch now here in Wakaliga, the home of the Lord Mayor, the Chief Superintendent of the city. And we know that going by the statistics from the Ministry of Health, Kampala and Wakiso are the hotbeds of COVID-19. But what are the authorities doing about this? I'm here with the Lord Mayor, Salongo Erias Lukwago. Good morning to you, Lord.
Good morning, my brother. Good morning, viewers.
Yes, we know that Kampala, even by last week, people were fearing that maybe we could go into a lockdown. But for now, there is no lockdown. But still, we know numbers are going up in Kampala. What are you doing as KCCA? Because now you already have an established administration in Kampala.
You see, the problem is with the central government largely. And when we raise that, sometimes you think it's always our response to whatever happens. That we are all out to attack the government, we are all out to malign Mr. Museveni, and we are lament and whatnot, but we are pointing out serious issues that need attention, urgent attention. There is a lot of fudging right now, because the day Mr. Museveni came out to issue a statement on Saturday, was it Saturday? We expected at least some interventions to be made, not drastic measures like lockdown, that is absolutely not necessary, but at least some tangible measures to be taken. It's only one thing that is happening right now, the drive towards vaccination. But the way it's also being conducted, I think it's like a gamble. It's not something that is well planned.
What would you want to be seen that is already on the ground, that is not on the ground for now?
You cannot call people from across the country to come to Kororo. Does it really make sense? Yes, you will say the epicenter, the hotbed of COVID is Kampala and Wakiso, fine. Where are the vaccination centers, at least in Wakiso district, in the divisions of Kampala? Not everybody can make it to Kororo Street. So they needed to roll out a plan on how the vaccination is going to be conducted. Two, the jabs, the doses are also not enough. We are still relying on the initial batch that we received from India of 960,000, less than 1 million. Yet our target is to vaccinate roughly 25 million. So you can see it's a real gamble. And they talk that they are going to sit on Wednesday. How could Mr. Museveni come to tell the nation that the National Task Force is going to sit on Wednesday? This is a crisis matter. Why is it that they are not sitting? He should have said, actually, we have sat today. They could even sit on Sunday, on Monday. Why wait until Wednesday when COVID is spreading like wildfire?
And remember, Wednesday they're just going to sit and then come up to resolutions, and then we'll come back maybe after 2 days to give a resolution that to announce the next plan. But we know they are in the first wave. There are many collections, donations, financial and otherwise. They were asking, where did the money go? Would you expect that maybe by now such monies would be brought into play at this particular point when you have surging numbers? Maybe what would be
no,
done?
Broadly speaking, they have not accounted for all the monies that were appropriated for this particular purpose. It's not only the donations, which ranged between 30 to 35 billion Uganda shillings, that donation committee headed by Katongole. No. But also even supplemental appropriations that were made for different activities to be conducted. What happened? Even the free masks. How many people received the free masks? Because there was that measure. They said they are going to give out free masks to each and every Ugandan. Now we are told COVID is ravaging even school-going children. How many have been distributed in schools? There are kids who are going back now to school. What measures have we taken? We are just counting schools which have been affected. We have just learned that the new variant affects even the toddlers. So what measures are we taking to safeguard the lives of our kids, to curtail the spread of COVID in schools? What measures are we taking? So you'll be asking yourself that why, as a leader, you are just posing questions instead of offering solutions. That would be valid. But again, you have to appreciate that Mr. Museveni said this is an exclusive work of the National Task Force. Previously, the National Task Force comprised of political leaders, the Prime Minister and the Minister for Health and others. But right now we are told it's only the technical people, the staff, the PS, the doctors and whatnot.
Lord Mayor, talking about
That's the gamba I'm talking about.
Talking about education, the first wave I saw plans like distribution of radios and television sets that didn't materialize. But now, what would be the intervention?
That was politicking. He did not say that the radio sets were going to be distributed for purposes of sensitizing people on this scourge. No, it was for campaign purposes that they were blocking and banning rallies, mass gatherings during that electioneering period. And the alternative they offered was to give radio sets to Ugandans, at least one per village, and TV sets. But that was all politics.
Having the numbers rising, did the politics bring also these numbers that we're seeing now, that maybe the politicians were responsible for the surging numbers that we see now?
How do you attribute that to us who are locked up? I even went to court to challenge the Yabakama decision banning rallies in Kampala without success. So we are locked up. I sat here until the polling ended without going out to the field. So how can you attribute that to us?
But still the rallies, some
Let
rallies.
me tell you this. As a country, we have indulged in fudging, we have indulged in gambling. There's been a lot of procrastination because the measures that were earlier taken, the lockdown, the enforcement of SOPs and so on and so forth, this curfew which is still going on, all those measures were intended to curtail the spread of the pandemic as we wait for vaccination. Luckily enough, the vaccines came well ahead of the anticipated time, because earlier on we were told it would come in 2023, and that had scared most of us. But we are lucky that at least early 2021 we receive the vaccines, the AstraZeneca of brand. But now the question is, if we made lots of appropriate, why are we relying on donations from India? That we are waiting for India to supply us. India got their own problems back home, and they stopped, and I saw Mr. Museveni lamenting. They stopped the exportation. They said, how could you do that? So for us here, just a minute, let me conclude this. For us here, we started manufacturing sanitizers from Waraj. We did not stop the exportation. Why are you doing this to us? No, stop lamenting. Initially, you assured us that you are also doing your work, that our scientists, we are coming up with inventions of vaccines. What happened? And we can also get vaccines from elsewhere. Why only India?
As KCCA, as the chief superintendent of the city, the committee is going to be sitting tomorrow. What would you want them to do, or what are you as KCC trying to do in this situation? But first of all, this committee will be sitting tomorrow. What tangible measures would you want them to do for now? Because people are worried about a lockdown.
One, decentralize the vaccination centers. Shouldn't be only Kororo. They should be in all the divisions. The people of Rubaga should know where to go within their locality here. The same should apply in Kawempe, Central Division, and elsewhere, Machindi and Nakao, and should roll out even to Wakiso and perhaps beyond. Secondly, there should be a budget appropriated for further enforcement of SOPs which are still applicable, not the curfew. I heard the other day the police saying they have impounded over 2,000 borders.
Right.
That is persecution. That's persecution. Do you have concrete data that the escalation is due to the border cycles, moving or roaming around? So they should appropriate budgets for local governments to get involved in the enforcement of, especially providing masks. They said they should provide masks. Masks are important. Those free masks should be distributed now. And they should be done by the local. That's the work we should be doing at KCCA right now, distributing masks, free masks. We should be working out modalities of providing washing facilities in these crowded areas. to ensure that the parks, markets, shopping malls and whatnot, we enforce the washing of hands. We enforce that measure. And where possible, sanitization, because it may not be available for all. And also, mass testing. It's important. KCCA should be facilitated to do so. Finally, accreditation of private facilities that have capacity to deal with this pandemic. We have a number of hospitals here in Kampala, but they have not been accredited. Lubaga Hospital here, they have an isolation center. Is it gazetted as one of those places that are required to deal with COVID? And many other private hospitals, they are there, including our own. They should also be equipped. So that
Chisenyi,
Bugolobi, we have Chiswa. There is Chiswa, there is Naguru Hospital, we have Komamboga, Kawala, we have one here in Chitebi, and many others. Chirudu, they should all be equipped. So this is what they should be doing. They should equip them with the necessary tools. We have our health village committees. On sensitization, they can do a wonderful job for you, but they are not facilitated.
Thank you so much, the Lord Mayor of Kampala Capital City Authority, Salongo Erias Lukwago, who is also the People's Government Deputy President. I know you still hold that position there. And I know from here he's going to be going to the KCC City Hall, where they're going to be electing the Speaker. We shall be waiting to see how that goes, because I know he's pretending over his council that is dominated by NUP supporters. We shall be waiting also to see his cabinet that will be naming in a very few days from now. This is Stephen Imbido and Pepe Switchbuga taking you back to studios for Romeo Wusiku, who is going to be giving you much more conversations here on Morning at NTV. Have a blessed Tuesday morning.